Hi, I'm Lisa Engel-Franklin, and I'm a Rainbow Energy Healing Practitioner. And I'm here with my program today, All Things Metaphysical and More. And my guest today is Chris Cuciurean, and he's my mentor, teacher, and friend. And he's the founder of Rainbow Energy Healing. And I got received my certification from him, and we're here to talk more about rainbow energy healing and what happens in a session. So I'll introduce Chris now, and he can talk about what he does at his center up in Toronto. So go ahead, Chris.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you for welcoming me so graciously. Really excited to talk more about rainbow energy healing today. We've had a few talks already, and
Mhm,
looking forward to getting into more of the details of what actually happens in a rainbow energy healing session
mhm.
that is usually provided for a client by a practitioner like yourself.
Right. So let's talk about that. There's many different things we can, delve in here to, and you want to explain what rainbow energy healing is and what it does to help a client, and you can talk about the different things like how long a session goes and what's involved with it.
hmm All right, let's start with the basics, Lisa. So
Okay.
typically a formal rainbow energy healing session takes place between a practitioner and a client for the course of about 1 hour.
Hmm.
The client is laying down on their back flat on a healing table, much like a massage table the massage therapist would use. And so that person is laying out relaxed with an open intention to receive healing energy. And what we know about rainbow energy healing is it comes from source. It comes from our God, Goddess, Father, Mother, God above, that is helping us in every possible way to become whole, which is what healing is. So as the client is laying back, the practitioner is standing off to one side and typically uh, beginning the session by invoking the energy itself through a formal prayer. And I think one of the key highlights of rainbow energy healing is, as a practitioner, we say a prayer that we receive blessings that are from or aligned with the highest divine will. We are inviting in the will of our higher power to help with this session. Rainbow energy itself is a very beautiful, palpable, dynamic, easy to feel, easy to sense energy that allows that recipient who's laying back to start feeling and experiencing that energy. And so when I say experiencing it, sometimes we feel the energy, sometimes we have colors or
Hmm.
images or different things flashing through our inner mind's eye visual nature. Sometimes it's cognitive thoughts that start to actually filter in insights, inspirational ideas. Sometimes it's actually listening to an inner dialogue of a very truthful, loving, audible sense of guidance or wisdom being conveyed to us by that energy. But it's brought forth through that prayer. And then in that process of invoking the energy, we also invoke the founding archangels of rainbow energy healing,
Hmm.
which happen to be archangels Michael, Metatron, and Raziel. As you know,
Hmm.
all three are very powerful, beautiful vessels of our divine creator, bringing energy, bringing messages to us. And then the session unfolds with the practitioner basically working with the energy, not directing it, but actually being a witness to it by moving their hands with that energy. And rainbow energy tends to move very flowy, very free flowing, without much regimented or rigid sort of protocol to follow. It just tends to flow very easily. So I describe it as finger painting in our client's aura.
Right.
And as we watch the session unfold, we'll talk about the formal process in in a minute or so. We're watching this energy move and interact with the client's multidimensional nature, not only with their physical body, but with their major chakras. So things like the crown or the throat chakra or heart or root chakra. And we are witnessing how this energy is helping the client throughout the course of a 1 hour session.
Right. And one of the things that I wanted to mention, because dealing with the higher chakras and all, that we have to be grounded. So there is that takes place. If you want to talk a
Mhm.
little bit about
Sure.
that.
Sure. Right after the prayer, we typically refer to rainbow energy healing as a non-contact modality
Right.
where the practitioner is finger painting in the aura, if you will. But at the beginning of the session, and sometimes as guided at the end of the session, the practitioner will just lay their hands gently on the hands or feet of the client laying on the table. And what that does is it actually synchronizes the energy fields of the practitioner and the client together, and through the practitioner and that physical contact and the energy moving into Mother Earth, it really grounds us more effectively,
Right.
client, practitioner, and Mother Earth, in that beautiful earthy vibration, that beautiful hum of what it feels to be safe and grounded and in communion with Mother Earth. And so that's how we start the session. And oftentimes that's how we end the session to help bring our client and ourselves back into that grounded awareness state. If during the session at some point we floated up higher into some of the beautifully high vibrations, or we went deep
Right.
into an inner experience, and that groundedness brings us back to our outer waking state where we can once again engage with the outer world. But other than that grounding process, the remainder of the session typically takes place non-contact, with the practitioner working in and around the client's aura or in relation to one or more of the major chakras.
Right. And I was going to say, I don't know if you want to talk about it now or after, when you show the diagram and stuff, but about being whole, because you mentioned that, and the different levels that rainbow energy healing works on.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I think when we talk about the word healing, we're really talking about to become whole as our Creator willed us to be. And so wholeness with ourselves as human beings includes our physical nature and our physical body reflecting vitality, life, and wellness. It includes our emotional nature, the ability to feel good, to feel joy, to feel the highest vibrational energies as an emotional experience. That's part of our emotional nature. And so rainbow energy healing addresses healing on an emotional level. It also helps us on a mental level, and it helps. When I say mental, it helps us with our beliefs, um, our ideas, our concepts that we hold about ourselves in relation to the world, or what we think of in terms of concepts and ideas about how to be happy, how to manifest that happiness. So rainbow energy healing addresses all those different mental aspects, and it can do that by helping us detach from a distorted belief, a belief that's not in alignment with the highest truth, or a concept we have of how to get from A to B. And if that isn't the best way to get there, or the most fulfilling way to get there for us, that higher energy, that higher power, God knows, and through this energy can help show us that there's an alternative way to get from A to B. So mental healing occurs in rainbow energy healing. And then finally, the spiritual nature, our aura, our chakras, our energy field, and more is addressed through rainbow energy by opening that up to our highest truth, so that we can experience this energy sent from above that brings us every possible vibration of consciousness that is in alignment with all the highest universal cosmic laws.
Mhm.
Abundance, that we are safe, that we are forever loved, that we are forever redeemed and forgiven. So all of these different natures, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, are addressed through a rainbow energy healing session.
Right. What I keep getting over and over again is how much God loves us, our creator, because to care about us, and so that we want, he wants us to be whole. That just, it
Yeah.
just, is so awesome. Okay, so do you want to maybe show your diagram of the chakras that are involved with the rainbow energy healing?
Sure, absolutely, Lisa. Let's just get this up on the screen here. So this is a basic diagram of the major chakras that rainbow energy healing addresses. So a lot of the folks that are spiritual seekers will be very familiar with root chakra, sacral, solar plexus, and heart, throat, third eye, and the crown chakra.
Mhm.
There are some other major energy centers that rainbow energy healing really addresses. And these energy centers are not, we're not saying that these are an absolute truth of what energy centers there are out there. These are the energy centers that when we invoke rainbow energy healing and when we practice a formal session, we see certain energy centers in the overall aura of the person that show up repeatedly. And so we've collectively come to describe this as this is our Rainbow Energy Healing 12 chakra system. So
Mhm.
these major chakras are addressed in Rainbow Energy Healing. The ear chakras on either side of the temple, really pretty much in parallel with our third eye, where we hear clear words of guidance or divine words, the word of God, where we hear the angels as messengers of that higher power, giving us clear audible guidance. And that tends to open up and allow the recipient to hear words of truth, to hear words in their inner consciousness of direction, next steps, insights, and wisdom and understanding to help them on their way. The next one that people may not be familiar with is the life purpose chakra. This sort of chartreuse green is sort of a base color, and there can be many different colors that appear clairvoyantly or if just in terms of texture to the practitioner by moving rainbow energy above the crown of the client. This energy center is the soul purpose chakra, which really opens us up to our entire soul's journey. Some people, if they have the belief in past lives and reincarnation, will very clearly see this as their past lives or their future lifetimes and what their soul is to experience through the entire dimension of time. And so this energy center seems to be very mystical, very profound, but can really help us when a client is working on an issue and it stems from trauma that originated in their soul's journey. And in other words, it's what they brought with them. Sometimes people bring with them a simple trauma from past lives, like a fear of deep water or a fear of
Mhm.
warfare or guns or
Sure.
bombs or explosions, or simply a certain sense of being afraid of one particular person, almost as if there's been some sort of past experience. And so this energy center hold sometimes that traumatic energy as resistance. And when we open up rainbow energy to move through the crown of our head and into that life purpose and soul purpose chakra, we really start moving away barriers, blockages, and resistance so that people can start to open up to the true soul, their soul's desire, their true purpose for living and being and coming into this body. And every one of us has a multitude of reasons for being here, but it can include things like sharing joy, teaching, being artistically creative. It can include healing or bringing compassionate care to others. And we often benefit by opening up these energy centers here, the life and soul purpose, so that we can really get in touch with the soul's desire to share our divine qualities like caring, compassion, leadership, vision, artistry, creativity that our creator has gifted us with to achieve our highest fulfillment. So these are really, really important chakras in rainbow energy healing. And then what we see is a little bit of a three-dimensional matrix depicted here. We call the grid affectionately, I think you and I, Lisa, but
Right.
really the formal name is in rainbow energy healing is the soul connection chakra. And
Mhm.
this energy center is really the top of an entire auric field. And we can see that with some little dots just sprinkled around the diagram. And then the rainbow bridge, which is really our bridge to all the higher levels of consciousness, Christ consciousness, Buddha consciousness, that enlightened self consciousness that we can be divinely what we were created to be each and every moment in the eternal now. And then above that rainbow bridge, far up above our arms can reach, there tends to be almost like an influx of energy from guardian angels, archangels, ascended masters, spirit guides, any beings that exist in the spiritual domain who have loving intent towards us and who are interacting with us. And so rainbow energy healing really works with these higher chakras very, very intimately and really helps to open and clear them so that what we have happening is this beautiful conduit of energy through the rainbow bridge from the highest heavens down into our major chakras so that the highest cosmic spiritual laws are open to us through an energy that flows in through the rainbow bridge to inform all of these lower chakras, including our crown for divine knowledge, our third eye for higher vision, our ear chakras to hear the word of God, and the throat for creative expression, the heart chakra for giving, receiving, and experiencing all-encompassing love, and then solar plexus, our will to assert based on our self-understanding.
Mhm.
Sacral and root chakra, and even down below the root into the earth
Right.
star chakra below the feet, which isn't depicted here, but is very much a part of how we connect to the safe keeping and love that Mother Earth has for our physical domain.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm always amazed at when I look at this chart because I think of how it's not only just dealing with the seven like basic familiar chakras that people are familiar with the body, but it goes beyond that, you know, to the higher
Yes.
chakras. And you know, just as a practitioner, you know, I know you deal with different ones on the different levels, you know, and I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to taking level 2 practitioner because of that too.
Yeah.
So this is it's a good picture, you know, to get in your mind to understanding rainbow energy healing
Yeah.
and you know, the archangels and the different chakras that are involved.
Hmm.
Um, Basically, how long does a session last? And is it different? Well, you've explained some parts of how it's different than the Reiki. And maybe you can talk about the difference of having a session in person or,
Okay.
you know, through distance.
Okay, so let's just address three different areas there. Like comparing to Reiki was the second one.
Right.
How long does it last? It's typically an hour. Okay,
Hmm.
mentioned before, and sometimes it can be shorter if the person and the receiving energy and the practitioner sense that it's complete, and that can
Hmm.
often be a mutual agreement. Almost as if the practitioner feels there's no more energy to flow in, and the client is almost waking up, wanting to get off the table. We know it's done. So, typically with children, children receive this energy very willingly and very receptively. They
Yeah.
might take 15 or 30 minutes.
Ah,
Young children might take 10 or 15 minutes and then get up off the table, and it's just very clear that, oh, I'm done, you know.
right.
But typically an adult with issues that they would like resolved, and they would
Hmm.
like to clear and remove energetic blockages for better overall well-being and wholeness, they
Hmm.
would spend an hour on the table.
Hmm.
In terms of Reiki, that you mentioned that, and I would like to just explain in a little bit more detail. Rainbow energy healing has a much broader range of frequencies. So if we're looking at low, medium, high vibrations, rainbow energy is this beautiful flowing range of energy that
Right.
can feel earthy and grounded. It can feel heart chakra loving with human beings. It can also feel really opening up to higher energies like archangels. So we
Hmm.
kind of hit the low, medium, high, you know,
Yeah.
and much
The
higher
whole
than the
range.
audible range. And
Right.
Reiki tends to be a very sort of limited range of energy
Yeah.
that's very gentle, it's very loving, it's sent from that higher power, but the energy itself and the texture is different than rainbow energy healing. So rainbow
Right.
energy healing is very flowing and it fills the room,
Hmm.
whereas Reiki tends to be more of a top down. It tends to flow top down through the practitioner, and then the practitioner places their hands on the body of the client, and so it tends
Right.
to have a root, not always, but it tends to have a route through practitioner to client, and it kind of has a nice medium level hum, like a nice medium frequency range, but it's a little bit more narrow. And what I like about rainbow energy healing is it really does expand those very, very high frequencies.
Hmm.
So if we think of it as an energy that's everywhere, rainbow energy healing is an energy that's everywhere, and it opens us up to every possible consciousness up to the highest level, where we are conscious of creator, the cause of existence, all the
Right.
universal laws. If we are invoking that energy for our physical body, it actually helps us to move into alignment with whatever that vibration is that we are out of alignment with. It could be the
Hmm.
laws of abundance, it could be the law of attraction and manifestation, it could be the ability to create, or just simply the freedom and permission to create because we've given away that power consciously or unconsciously. It could be a law of protection and safety that we've
Hmm.
forgotten, and we're living in fear without having that faith and understanding that we are redeemed in that eternal salvation our creator offers us.
That's the one thing that I can't emphasize enough is the hope and the relief from fear. You know,
Mhm.
people don't realize that they don't have to live in fear, you know. And I think that this what underscores it more and more with the rainbow
Correct.
energy healing. It's just you don't have to live like that, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a good feeling to know, you know, that you
Mhm.
don't have to be fearful, you know.
Yes.
So but Okay,
And just
so
to address your other question, Lisa, in
yeah.
person and distant, just to talk about that very briefly, is that, in person, the practitioner is standing next to the client and they're moving, in and
Mhm.
around the client's physical body, a lot like the way my hands are moving now on the screen. In a distant session, the experience in terms of the results is the same. The clearing of the energy that blocks our access to this highest energy for physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual well-being, these they happen the same, whether it's a
Right.
distant session or an in-person session. A distant session happens where a practitioner is connected through some sort of link, like an audible link, Skype or Zoom or some sort of technology link, or even a phone call just put on speakerphone. Just put the
Hmm.
phone on speaker and talk with the client. The client is still laying down. This is not the kind of energy session to receive while you're driving a car and you're just going about your day, because it
Right.
is very palpable, very profound, and it is for the well-being of the client to be resting safely. So a person could be
Right.
simply laying out on their couch or their bed, put a speakerphone on, and then listen to the practitioner invoke the prayer, facilitate the energy. The practitioner is going to focus on what that energy is doing in the client's field. And oftentimes, our client will actually report as if it feels like there's hands on my feet, or it feels like someone's working above my crown. And so
Exactly.
oftentimes it's because we're working with these universal energies, we're
Mhm.
transcending the laws that we currently understand scientifically that allow someone in a different part of the world to feel as if they're working energetically right there.
Yeah.
I myself was a very skeptic of distant healing until I actually tried it, and when I first was guided by the angels to do rainbow energy healing, they suggested I do this with some of my distant colleagues in different locations around the world.
Yeah.
And it very quickly showed me that people are feeling it and experiencing the benefits
Oh yeah.
that rainbow energy offers us, even though they were in different continents around the
Yeah.
world. I'm located in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, in North America, and most of my
Mhm.
colleagues were either in South America or England or Australia or wherever I had met them
Mhm.
through various spiritual courses and sharing what I
Right.
was being, given from the angels. And it works really, really profoundly at a distance.
Right. I had one client. I was here in Florida, and she was in New York City. And when we talked after the session, and she not only heard Archangel Metatron tell her he's Metatron,
Yeah,
she
yeah,
saw his grid, And
yeah,
so it's always, good to get feedback afterwards and everything. I mean, me
yeah.
personally, I always see colors whenever I've had energy work done, they've
Hmm.
always seen colors, but everybody experiences it in a different way, just like we talked about before, how everybody has a different experience with rainbow energy healing. That, like we said, the archangels and God meet you where you're at, and that's what's so helpful about it.
Absolutely.
Um, okay, I'm trying to think of some other questions that I had. Um, about the soul purpose and the life purpose. You can maybe just touch on that a little bit more, because that is one of the main things about rainbow energy healing.
Absolutely. What I like about rainbow energy healing, and this has come through experience of offering sessions to hundreds of people and training, many, many practitioners on how to work with this energy, is that one of the biggest benefits seems to be that we open up our crown chakra, which is really opening up to higher knowledge, divine knowledge. And that divine knowledge includes the nature of our soul, the nature of our eternal self, our highest mind, if you will, and why we're here. And everybody I've met in my journey, whether I've done rainbow energy healing sessions for people or taught classes or taught people how to just learn how to connect to the angels and trust their intuition, everybody wants to know, what's my life purpose? And if
Right.
they have a good answer to that, they're still working on, how do I fulfill it in the best way? They're still struggling on implementation.
Uh-huh.
um, it's because we do have a spiritual nature that chooses to come to this experience in the physical body for a purpose, and in many cases a multitude of purposes. Sometimes that purpose includes family, children, a love life, forgiveness, creativity, initiative, just lessons on how to live according to God's laws. And sometimes people come here to fulfill more of a global purpose, to
Hmm.
teach, to heal, to share the ideas of spiritual truths with others, so that there isn't suffering, so that we can transcend suffering on this plane, on this dimension of human life. And so people want to really understand, what is my unique purpose? And what I really like about those immediate energy centers that seem to just open up like a
Yep.
book
Yep.
in rainbow energy healing is it gives us access to that energy more clearly than before.
Hmm.
It not only that, the practitioner is moving through this energy field above our head and picking up intuitive glimpses of what our client's life purpose is. So it is a very, very profound and immediate way to improve our ability to know our life purpose, understand it, sense it, see what the next step is in our life's purpose. And that's ultimately, that's what we're all seeking. We're seeking fulfillment here in this limited experience, 75 years in these bodies, or 100 years, or whatever,
Whatever. Yeah.
God, God bless if it's 100 years of great joy, but
Yeah.
for some it's much less. But we're all seeking fulfillment, and rainbow energy healing seems to help with that. Compared to all the different modalities I've tried in my spiritual journey, it is one of the most profound to connect us to that and really give us that personal sense as the receiver of this energy. I know what it is. I know what the next step is. This is
Mhm.
what I need to do to be fulfilled in this life.
Yeah. It's so empowering in so many levels.
Mhm.
It's made a difference, a big difference in my life. So I can't thank you enough for, helping me with that and everything.
Mhm. My pleasure.
Um, is there anything else we want to cover, or I think that's about.
Well, we're trying to help people understand what happens in an actual session.
Hmm.
But my recommendation would be for people to pray, to open up, to ask their higher power, what is my next step with rainbow energy healing? Is this a modality for me? Is this a
Hmm.
tool that can help me heal? And trust that they are guided to it
Right.
or not. Okay. What
Right.
I've learned is that people need to really be ready, whether they know it or not, they need to be ready to experience it. So there's no point trying to sell a friend
Exactly.
who you think would benefit
Exactly.
from, and they're not sure. There's no point in trying to sell
No,
anybody on it.
no.
It really is an energy guided from above, from our higher power. God, Goddess, Source brings this to us as one of many gifts to
Hmm.
help us continue to rise up and transcend.
Right.
If we offer it to somebody and they feel guided to come to it, when they come to receive a session from you as the practitioner, Lisa, they're
Mhm.
going to be blessed. They're going to be blessed
Exactly.
according to divine creator. And
Hmm.
we don't know what that is, but we are going to witness it as best we can and then share with that client. And that sharing process is going to help them see that there is a benefit in having a session.
Right. And that's the thing. Not everybody is going to resonate with it,
Correct.
but those that do, they get nudged to
Yeah.
follow up on it and to, seek it out. So this has been great, Chris. I really appreciate you, taking the time to do this. Maybe you can tell people how to get in touch with you if they want to find out more about this or have a session.
Sure, absolutely. I can be reached through rainbowenergyhealing.com. Take a look there. You'll see that you're listed there, Lisa, as a
Yeah.
practitioner. People can reach out to you for a session. And my recommendation is folks that are tuning in through your channel here would be to get in touch with Lisa, have a session, okay? Or even just asking Spirit for help. What's the next
Right.
step? If they're learning, if they want to learn how to be a practitioner of rainbow energy healing, by all means,
Exactly.
I would be happy to help them, or other teachers of
Mhm.
rainbow energy healing would be happy to help. And it is a beautiful modality to work with. It does help us move closer into alignment with our Creator and all of the Creator's highest truths and spiritual laws. And
Right.
so it's a joy to work with. In whatever way you're drawn to it, I would encourage people to enjoy the Creator's blessings through working with rainbow energy.
All right. And so you've got your website, and also they can tune in to my YouTube channel. They can subscribe so they can see all of our interviews on there. And I have interviews with other people too, or they can contact me on my Facebook page, Lisa Engel-Franklin. So I look forward, Chris, to our next few sessions that we're going to have. We've got some special things coming up with that. And I just, encourage everybody to stay tuned. So any last words, Chris?
Thank you, Lisa, for the opportunity to share a little bit more about rainbow energy healing, and God bless everyone who's listening today, and may rainbow energy healing help them today. Have just a fantastic day.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. Bye-bye.
Thank you.